So we're heading into talking about mission, vision, and values. So for any organization, we need to know who we are and we need to know where we are going and also what is important to us. And that's what we're going to talk about here in chapter 4. So this chapter deals with two different content areas, so to speak. The first one is the mission, vision, values piece. That is the guiding light or the North Star for an organization. And the second part talks about creativity and how we can have passion for something and how that actually then relates to vision. Sometimes you see that content covered in like a decision making class. But of course, strategy and mission, vision, values are about making decisions. So it fits very well here because mission, vision, and values, especially vision, should be something that sets you apart from another organization or from other organizations. So being creative with that certainly makes sense. So, how do our mission and vision fit into our planning, organizing, leading, and controlling framework? So, for sure, let's take a little bit of a look here at the components that we are dealing with. So, I've been saying mission, vision, values, and we kind of talk about all of them in one breath because they are um, the the puzzle piece that tells us direction for the organization and who we are and our reason for being. So all those things are very closely interconnected, but they are certainly different components that fit together. So for the vision statement, for instance, the vision statement is something that tells us where we are going as an organization. So in that sense, it's very future oriented and it tends to be very brief um, in writing or in the spoken word. The mission, on the other hand, is what we're doing today. That's who we are. So who are we? And then we have our value statement. They can either be in a separate sort of values document or they can be captured in the mission statement. It just depends on the organization. So because we have these things, our first bullet point here speaks to that. We need to have our mission and vision to understand them before we can do any planning. Because if we don't know where we are or where we're going, it doesn't really make any sense to sit down and start to plan. So mission and vision really is the first component, foundation for an organization. We've already said this, mission and vision communicate the organization's values and purpose, our reason for being and what we're doing. And if we can also put in something emotional that people can attach to or that causes feelings within them, they have a stronger attachment to our stakeholders, such as our employees, our customers, and other stakeholders that are impacted or have a stake in the organization. So, even just in this brief intro, couple of minutes I've been talking now, I think we can all see the value of mission, vision, and value. So, why do we even have them, right? First of all, clearly we need to have them because without them, we can't create strategy and we can't plan. So, for just practical purposes, we need those. And they also give us purpose. If we have a vision that people can align with, be excited about, and think about, and see themselves being part of completing, it creates passion. And you want passion, especially from your employees. You want them to be excited because a passionate employee will do so much more on behalf of the organization than just somebody who shows up and thinks that they can be in a better place that day. So if we can excite our employees, that's a big battle that we would like to win. And we also have value statements today. So organizations in the past might have incorporated values into their mission statement. Today, we know that, especially with the millennials and the generation that is coming after them, they really care about organizations and companies and want them to make better for the world. And one way to illustrate or to tell our employees, tell our customers who we are, and the difference we are making or can be making is through our value statements. What are important to us? How are we trying to actually improve things? So, of course, when you look at organizations and survey them and let me see, blue, right? Look at the numbers here. We see 63% of companies, and this is globally, so not just the United States, but all around us, they use these mission and vision statements, mission and value statements as a management tool, as a way to actually get things done. So it's not just a nice to have, but if we have these in place, we will actually do our work better. So if we then have clearly communicated, right, we can't just write them, they also have to be communicated out. People have to understand them. So the way we write them should make sense. And they are collectively shared, meaning a majority of our employees are actually, keep saying employees, but other stakeholders as well, are actually understanding them and believe in them, they share in them, then we do better. People do better. Organizations do better. You have higher levels of performance, you have higher levels of commitment, loyalty, passion, if you have a well-written mission and vision and value statements for the organization. So it is a management tool. We use it to get things done. So this slide is our go-to slide for sort of what are they? What's the mission statement and what's the vision statement? So you have the definitions here. So the mission is defined as something that communicates the organization's reason for being. Why do we exist? And how do we aim to serve our key stakeholders? What are we delivering? What products and services? What is it we're trying to do? We are also looking at this for today, right? So our mission statements are focused on today. We talked about the fact that they often bring in the values. So it's a summation, sort of tells us the overall on the value statements, and they tend to be longer. You can see them in several sentences, you can see them in a paragraph. Vision statements, on the other hand, it's future oriented, it's looking towards something where we can be. Sometimes they are so non-tangible for the organization that it seems unreasonable to have that as a mission statement. We can never achieve that. Well, if it's exciting enough for the employees, it doesn't matter if you actually are able to achieve it or not in the next 10, 15, or 20 years. The point is that it's something that you're reaching towards. So it's your aspirations as an organization. Future oriented, what we want to become, and they're brief, right? So a sentence or so, because they should be quick and easy for us to remember so we know where we're going. So the three roles played by mission and vision. So this is a beautiful summary slide. Firstly, they communicate the purpose of the organization to the stakeholders. It informs strategy development. I talked about that on the first slide. It's the first piece in your planning process. Thirdly, we are developing measurable goals and objectives as a result of the mission, vision, and values. So mission, vision, and values are abstract in nature. They tell us, but we can't measure them. So based on the mission and vision, then we can now create goals that are measurable. And then we can start measuring how successful the company is and successful the strategy is, because the strategy is the organization, right? So we are developing measurable goals and objectives by which to gauge the success of organization strategy. So those are the three roles played by mission and vision, and these are the discussion questions that go with that. Okay, that's going to wrap it for this recording right here.